Okay, good morning, good afternoon to our listeners both in the country and abroad. Juma Mubarak to our Muslim listeners. I am Larry Sise. We are back, myself and my colleague Lamin Mane, to give you the usual weekly program that we normally do. Today is a Friday. So it will be an abridged version of what we normally do, but we will cover issues that are on the horizon and in the political ecosystem in the last week. I'll let Lamin introduce himself, and then I'll tell you what our issues today will be. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Larry, and glad to be back on the program today. And we say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to our listeners, wherever you may be watching us from and whichever time. I'm glad to be back as usual to discuss the Gambia that we want, our weekly program, as Larry said. And thank you for receiving us in your homes and listening to Echo TV International, which is really now international and global. Thank you all very much, and thank you to the staff of the Echo TV. Thank you all.
Good. Lamin, today we are going to talk about a brief report on the flag-bearer selection process of UDP. I think it has generated a lot of interest. A lot of people say a lot of things about it. The process has been advertised in social media, but there are still some people who do not grasp fully the process that we take. I think it's a four-step process. So Lamin was involved in it from start to finish. He is the one who is going to give this brief report on the selection process. The second issue would be UNDP's blueprint for 2027-2031. This blueprint is inherently linked and coherently called out of the 5-point agenda and the UDP manifesto in the last election. The third issue is the issue of the government's audited financial statements. In our last week's broadcast, we raised the issue that the government's audited financial statements haven't been made public or haven't been done since President Barrow got re-elected in 2021. So we have a 4-year backlog of audited reports that haven't been released. Nobody knows the level and the extent of the damage that is being caused. So we'll talk a little bit about that also. And then we'll wrap up.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lami.
Thank you very much, Larry. And it's good to be able to discuss with our viewers and listeners and tell them about the selection process, how it went, to be able to apprise everybody so that we are all on the same page, because this is a very important process. We are one of the few, if not the only party in the country that goes through such a rigorous selection of its flag bearer. Every time we come up for national presidential elections, we go through this process. We we declare actually the position of flag bearer at that point vacant, and we invite interested parties to submit their applications to run for party leader, for flag bearer of the party. This year was not an exception. We had it in a couple of, presidential elections in the past. But this year was really significant in the sense that This is the first time when we advertised the position, we had 11 applicants. That is extremely significant because it shows the internal democracy in the party. Usainu Dabo didn't come and just steamroll his leadership and say, I'm the leader, I'm going to be the flag bearer, etc. No. He said, I would want to apply. And if the party and the UDP supporters deem me fit to lead, I would be honored to lead. So he applied. Actually, he was the first to apply when the process was opened. The process was opened, I think, around the 18th of August, but he was just on the way from the US. He had gone to the US, and then he came, he was bereaved. He lost a cousin and then a sister. He had to go through that bereavement, so he couldn't apply until the 26th. And the last day of application was the 2nd of September. On the 1st, Talib, Bensouda, and a few other people, I think 4 other people applied. And on the 2nd, the last day, Amadou Sane, Boriture, Karamo Fati, Suleiman Saho, and I don't know who else, they all applied, 5 others applied on the last day, on the 5th, on the 2nd. So, first thing on the 3rd, we have called a meeting of the Central Committee, and we discussed the number of people who had applied, gave the names to the committee and to the Gambian public in general. So we had 11 applicants. And we decided that we're going to conduct, because what we do once we have those applicants, the selection goes in 3 phases. The first phase is the interview of all the applicants. Each one is given about half an hour to come in for the interview. You are interviewed by a selection panel, a vetting panel rather. We set up a vetting panel, and coincidentally this year, the vetting panel was 11 people and the number of candidates were 11. So that's very coincidental. So the vetting panel did the interviews on the 4th, I think. And I think the day after, the interviews were conducted for all the applicants, all the 11 of them. And they couldn't finish it on the same day, so they had to continue the second day.
Which was on Thursday.
On Thursday. So they were vetted on Wednesday and Thursday last week. Once that was completed, on Friday, the team took off for a vetting within the country. So that vetting was Friday and Saturday. So what they do there, they go to the different regions. Each region brings on board the ward executive, the constituency executive, and the regional executive to come and meet with the vetting panel. And they discuss the candidates. Because we believe that it should not just be the Central Committee and the National Executive at the central level here who decide on who should be the candidate. So we take it to the people also, the militants on the ground, the grassroots. These are the people who would vote. So it shouldn't be something confined to the executive to decide.
And it becomes a top-down.
Exactly, exactly. So what we do, we discuss, the interviews are conducted by the executive, because you cannot have them interviewed by a whole country. So we have them interviewed by the executive, a few people selected from the executive, 11 people in this case, and then we go to the grassroots. So we have all the representation from the ward level to the regional level. They all come in and meet at the regional level. So some met in Kerewan for North Bank, others met in Kuntaur for CRR North, in Bansang for CRR South, in Basse for URR, in Kerewan for LRR, in Brikama for West Coast Region, and in Kanifing, or I think it's Kanifing for West Coast Region, sorry, for KMC, and then in Banjul. So we met all the regions and all the militants at the different levels. So you discuss with them, what do they think about the candidate, about his integrity, about his competence, about his commitment to the party, etc., etc. Criteria are defined beforehand. And these are submitted to the 5 criteria. These are submitted to the ward, constituency, and regional executive members.
At the grassroots.
At the grassroots level. So they rank the candidates from 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. One who is really in control, who is very well esteemed and is considered electable, is considered committed to the party, they get 5, or 4, or 3, or 2, or 1. You can even give them 0. So that rating is done at the level of the grassroots. So we bring that to the Central Committee, and then we decide on who are the top 3. So what we do, at the interview, the candidates are rated. At the grassroots, they are rated by the grassroots participants.
In rank order.
Yes. So we take that ranking and the notes and the marks given at the different levels, we make a total. You are required to have at least 70% at each level to be able to proceed to the next level.
Proceed to the next level.
So at the interview, you need to score at least 70% to be able to go to the next level. Grassroots interviews and ranking, you're supposed to have at least 70% again to go to the next level. So what happened at the interview level, many people scored 70 and above, with Mr. Dabo being the top 98%. At the grassroots level, the ranking was really much more varied. Because at the grassroots level, only Mr. Dabo scored the 70 plus. He scored 98 point something. But nobody else got 70% at the grassroots level. So if we were to go by the rules strictly, only Mr. Dabo qualified
Should
to
have
become,
proceeded to the next
yes,
level.
to become, right. He should have been automatically declared the flag bearer of the party. Because although about 7 or 8 qualified at the interview level, not
At the
one,
vetting level.
At the interview level of the vetting committee.
But at the vetting level.
But at the grassroots vetting level, nobody scored 70%. Only Mr. Dabo did. He scored 98 point something. So if we were to be totally legalistic and apply the rules, stringently, only Mr. Dabo would have proceeded and be declared immediately the flag bearer. But we thought we should give democracy a chance and be much more open. So even though the others did not score the 70% to move to the final phase, we thought it would be good practice and our support for democracy to allow 2 others, because only 3 proceed to the final selection. So we thought even though the others did not score the required 70%, let us make an exception this time round. Next time we'll see. But this time let's make an exception. We take the next 2 who, although did not score the required mark, they were below the cutoff mark, but we still take the next 2, the people who came second and third, and we add them to Mr. Dabo's name, and we have 3 which will go to the final selection. We didn't have to do that because the laws, allowed us to take Mr. Dabo alone. But we thought it would be good practice and good nurturing of democracy to do that. So we took those 2, and those 2 were Amadou Sane, who came second, and Bori Toure, who came third, even though those 2 didn't qualify by marks. So they came, and fourth was Lamin J. Dabo. What we took only the first 3 is what we take. So Mr. Dabo, Mr. Sane, and Mr. Toure proceeded to the final phase. So they were going to now go and meet the Council of Elders, because that's another phase. The first 3, we take them to meet the Council of Elders to see if there are any 2, if the 2 of the 3 will be willing to desist in favor of one candidate, so we avoid voting. Because we know that voting can be contentious, but it's democratic. But if you can avoid it, it avoids the campaigning and all that stuff, which could sometimes create some difficulties. And because we know after the election, after the voting, we'll have to bring the party together again and to go campaign. So if you can avoid elections, we try to avoid it. If you cannot avoid it, we go by the democratic dispensation. So the Council of Elders met with the 3, and none of them was willing to step down for another one. So we still maintained the 3, and we went for the elections. So the elections were held, and at the end of the elections, we brought in the press, actually. That's important.
Yeah, to
witness the whole process. So before we started the voting, we brought in the press, and the chairperson of the National Selection Committee, which is Aji Yamundawiyabo. She's the national president, and also the chair and head of the selection committee. She made a statement and explained the process, how it's going to go ahead. And Alaji S. Dabo also said a few words. And then we invited the press to leave the hall and allow us to do the, listen to the candidates for their final pitch before we go for the elections. That is entirely in camera. So for that, we couldn't bend the rules. So they left, the press left, and then we went to the candidates. Each one came and was given 10 minutes to sell his program. and then we went for the elections. So at the end of the elections, and as I said, our elections are always conducted by the IEC.
Yeah.
We do not conduct elections because we do not want, exactly, that's the pictures of the press when they came to see, to listen to Aji Amunda Yabo and to hear the administrative secretary as well, explain the whole process. After that, we went for the elections. And IEC conducted the elections again. Every election in the UDP, be it presidential, NAM elections, chairman and mayoral elections, councillor elections, every single election in the UDP, and even at the Congress, when you go for Congress, every election is conducted by the IEC. We invite the IEC each time to send officers to come and conduct the elections. This time around, 3 came again. They conducted the elections. They counted the votes in the presence of representatives of the candidates, and then the results were declared. And this is what we want at the national level as well. Free, fair, and transparent elections.
But the integrity of the process itself.
Yes.
Those guys who were saying, oh, it's a rubber stamp, somebody has been the anointed one. This process showed that the whole process is open, it is free, it is transparent. Above all, it has integrity.
Yes, yes.
And this is why our critics have been silent.
Yes, yes, yes.
On the issue of the process.
Absolutely.
Because if we had gone by the rules of the party, after the vetting process in the grassroots areas, 2 of these candidates did not qualify because they didn't meet the threshold.
Yeah, exactly.
But that, for me, that shows also that this is a grassroots political party.
Absolutely.
If you want to vie for a position such as a flag bearer, you have to have grassroots support.
Yeah.
If you don't have grassroots support, they're not going to,
it's a non-starter.
listen to you.
It's a non-starter.
A lot of people complain about so-and-so is not shortlisted, so-and-so. So now you have your answer.
Yeah.
The answer is if the grassroots people do not know you, they will not vote for you.
Yes. Yeah.
And this is a classic case of that phenomenon.
Yes.
Where the grassroots basically says, we know so-and-so, we don't know so-and-so. The person we know is what we are going to go with.
And the other point to that is that those who say Mr. Dabo should step down should think twice now. Yeah. Because the grassroots are the ones who vote for us. And these are the people who say, no, we want Mr. Dabo. So they ranked him 98.6 or 8%.
On all the things, integrity, morality, and
commitment to the
things,
party and all the 5 criteria. Yeah. They judged him and they gave him a final score of 98.6 or 98.8, but it's 98 point something. Yeah. Nobody else got 70%. So this shows that the grassroots have made their choice. Yeah. They want Mr. Dabo. So that is the thing we say, UDP, we choose our candidate. And when I say we, it's not the executive, it's not the central committee, it's the central committee, executive, and the grassroots. Yeah. We choose who leads the party. And the choice was clear, it's Mr. Dabo. In the interview, the executive gave him 98%, 97 point something percent, 97.8, I think. And the grassroots went further, they gave him 98 point something. Yeah. So an overall total of 98%, 98 point something. So the grassroots rated him higher than the executive. Yeah.
And if you average the two,
you have 98 point something.
Yeah, you are not going to see anybody anywhere close to.
Yeah. So when you have that, you can be sure that this is somebody that the people want. Because the executive ranked him high, but the grassroots ranked him even higher. Higher. So, and these are the people who are going to vote. So that's why we say nobody decides our candidate for us. We decide who's going to be our candidate, who our people think is the one they want, and then we go and sell that person to the Gambian people. You see, I keep saying, Larry, look at Mr. Dabo's track record. This is a gentleman who was in government for 2.5 years. With all the corruption that has been going on in the borough government, nobody could lay claim to him having done anything having embezzled a butut. This is the gentleman who would go on mission, they would give him an impress, he comes back, Immediately he gets back, he retires the impress and accounts for what the money, how he spent it. When he leaves office, as soon as he gets home, he asks his driver to park the official car. If he needs to go out or go do anything, they take his personal car. Yeah. He will not use the official car except to go to the office and come back home. Unless there's an official function after work where he has to go in the official car, when he gets home, the car is parked till the following day. That is the gentleman we are talking about. Yeah. And this is the gentleman who led the party, UDP, for 29 years. We're in the 30th year, including 22 under a dictatorship. Nobody, and I say nobody, was able to accuse him of anything untoward. He didn't do one thing that you can say is morally reprehensible or we can challenge. Nothing, nada. And he has been in public life for half a century. Again, nothing you could lay at his door. Look, unless you're looking for an angel, I would take that guy any day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The thing is, Lamin, several issues are in contention here. The selection process, I think the idea that somebody is anointed or is the leader of a cult has been debunked.
Yeah. Yes.
The integrity issue is not an issue.
Yes.
Somebody who's been in the public domain for 50 years and you can't point one thing to him and it sticks, it's remarkable.
Yes.
The other thing is about the electability issue. Those who say he is not electable, I don't know where they get that notion from.
It's
but when you
biased.
go to the grassroots, you realize that this guy is the favorite.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go.
Absolutely.
Throughout the length and breadth of the country.
Yeah.
People who are calling. I was not involved in the selection process, but as a party militant, I was monitoring. I was calling.
Yeah, and you are very close to all the decisions they take in the party. You see it every day, and you are a trusted and esteemed person.
And at the end of the day, I just said Alhamdulillah. I said Alhamdulillah because most of the notions have been debunked by the process.
Yes.
Those who say electability is not electable and stuff, they should go back to 1996 when this party was formed. This man has won all of those elections.
Thank you.
Under Jammeh.
Thank you.
He has won 2021 also.
And let me say something there. People say, oh, he ran 6 times, he failed. That's not true. Wow. He ran 4 times. Not 6. Yeah. One of the times the election was boycotted by the UDP. He didn't run. 2016, he didn't run. It was Barrow. He ran 4 times, not 6 times to start with. Yeah. And secondly, and more importantly, what you just said, every single election he participated in, he won. Because Jammeh had a stock of 300,000 votes in the system that they distributed when the voting was done. And everybody knows it. That's why eventually they burned down their headquarters or their office, regional office in Kanifing. And when that was done, he lost. Yeah. And when he lost, what did he say? Where are my 300,000 votes? Yeah, they were burnt, sir. That was why he was winning. And that's exactly the same thing that happened in 2021. The people who are working for Jammeh and doing that were co-opted by Barrow. And they reconstituted that stock and distributed it in the system. That's how they won. And that's what you tell them will not happen again. Because you see, the 300,000 they put in the system, not all of them vote, but we know how it's done. Yeah. We won't discuss that, but we know how it's done and it will not happen again. All this issue about going to register people outside, giving them voters cards, ID cards, is geared towards the same fraudulent activity. So that they can input those names into the electoral rolls and inflate it again. These people told us last time we had 900,000 voters in the Gambia. That's total rubbish.
It's actually preposterous for
a population of 2.4 million to tell us we had 900,000 voters. It's preposterous.
1 million of them voting.
At best, it would have been 600,000. Nowhere near. But because they had their 350,000 votes in the system that they were going to distribute, how we got to 900,000. That's not going to happen again. There will be no more rigging of elections in this country.
And you have the cabinet minister saying, we know what we have done.
Yes.
We have
Ibrahim Stiller, to be precise. He came out and said, we know what we've done. When the elections are over, some people are going to just say, how did we let this happen? They were announcing the results even before the voting started.
Yeah.
Because they knew what they did and they stood out and said, if a person tells you who he is and what he's doing, you better believe them.
You better believe it. Yeah.
And that's what Ibrahim Sila came and did. He told us, we know what we've done. And when these elections are over, people will start wondering and saying, how did we let this happen? Yes, we did ask how did we let it happen because we didn't think they would be that dishonest. But that dishonesty has come to an end. It will not happen again. No more rigging in this country. No more cheating us out of our victory. 2026, we're going to win. Because you know why? Governments are fed up with Barrow and his government. And with all the corruption that's going on, which we'll talk about later on today. But that is why the Gambian people are fed up. And we have shown the country that we are a democratic institution. We uphold democracy and all its tenets, and we go beyond the call of duty. We could have declared Mr. Dabo the winner and we proceed to the next stage, but we decided to even go extra and give the others a fighting chance. So we brought in the second and third who did not even qualify. At the end of the process, Mr. Dabo got 54 votes. The whole total voting population of the selection committee is 81, except that those who are candidates do not vote.
Yeah.
So we had about 4 or 5 people who did not vote because they were candidates. So that brings it down to about 74, 75. Out of that, 64 voted, which is a very high turnout.
Yeah.
And the 64, Amadou Sane got 2, Bori Toure got 8, and Mr. Dabo got 54. That's a crushing victory.
Yeah.
Again, it shows how much people want Mr. Dabo to win. And at the end of that process, you can see it there in the pictures on the screen, Bori Toure came and congratulated him. Amadou Sane came and congratulated him. They all hugged him, because that is what the UDP is. We fight it out very strongly, very sincerely and tough. But when it's over, we put it behind us and move forward. Hey, we challenged you. We wanted your seat. We haven't got it. The people still have confidence in you. We fall behind. We fall in line. We are with you, and we're going to do this together. Yeah. So they all fell in line, and we are a party again united. And we're going to go. For us, our work is cut out for us. Yeah. We're starting the campaign and the work today. In fact, not today, from the day we elected Mr. Dabo. So we are going ahead to do what is required. And 26, Adama Barrow, we're coming for you. We'll beat you fairly and squarely. So maybe it's about time to start packing some of your things from State House. Okay? Thank you.
You know, Lamin, when you look at the UDP process, the rigorousness of it, the transparency, the integrity of it, you have to wonder, how did NPP select Adama Barrow?
He didn't select it. He imposed himself.
To become flag bearer.
He imposed himself. There was no selection.
The minute he says, I'm going to run for a third term, they all recoiled.
Yeah.
Nobody challenged him.
No.
In their Congress, he allegedly said, and this was on social media, that there are certain individuals that he does not want people to contest against.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't want to name these names because for me, I will name their names when the appropriate time comes.
But everybody knows.
Everybody knows who
we've
they
seen
are.
them.
He says, do not contest against them. And nobody contested against them. Now, DOI, how does DOI select its leadership?
They'll have to explain that to us because
they will have to explain that to us.
But
all the other political parties have an obligation now to tell us how they select their flag bearers, because the focus has always been on UDP.
Yeah, and in fact, we'll let them select their flag bearers the way they want to, but we are setting the standard. We are saying we are democratic, and this is how we do it, and anybody who wants to follow suit and do the same to support democracy, bravo, wonderful. If you choose to do otherwise, well, that's your choice, but for us, we give the people the choice. Let them choose who they want to be the flag bearer, and we will campaign with them. We don't impose anybody on them and say, this is who you should vote for. But once we have our flag bearer, then we go to sell it to the Gambian population. Say, hey, we have gone to a rigorous selection process. This is what we came out with your support, with your contribution and your input. Now we come back to you with that candidate. But we want to extend it beyond you, the party militants. We want to sell our candidate to the rest of the country. And this is why we think you should vote for our candidate. And we'll explain, we'll campaign, we'll convince people, because we want unity within the country. We want to have people buy our candidate and his agenda. We don't want to induce anybody. We don't want to buy anybody. We will not lie to anybody, certainly not. We will give you our program the way it is, explain it to you cogently, and then the choice is yours. But I'm sure by the end of the time we finish, everybody will be voting UDP because they see what we are proposing, as opposed to what these people failed to do over 9 years and getting to 10 years. And what they will not do. Hey, what they could not do in 9, 10 years, forget it. They won't do it and they come back again. They'll just even get more corrupt. More corrupt.
Talk about